The pain and injuries reach a peak that gives them nothing but emotions. A month or two later, they climb an even higher mountain again. It turns out that you should try only when you enjoy the process, regardless of the result. A person at work, motivated by a salary and bonuses, does not try hard and exerts minimal effort to avoid being fired. And the same person will sweat over winning an online game without any significant motivation, just to get rating points that don't mean anything. It sounds illogical. And this is where Bukowski's words that too many writers write for the wrong reasons are more than ever appropriate. They want to be famous, or they want to get rich, or they want to be given pretty girls. If the work you do does not bring you pleasure without payment, then motivation in the form of money and fame will not work for long. A person quickly gets used to the good things that were not available to you, and you thought they would bring you. Happiness, whether it's a console, a car, or your own pool. After a while, you'll get bored and they'll just fulfill their function, and, as often happens with toys, they'll collect dust on the shelf. I've heard people say things like, "Why should Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg work?" After all, they are rich, they can do nothing, and the paradox is that they like to do it. And this, oddly enough, brings them money. And this is what happens when people do their best in the business they love: prosperity and constant progress. Hundreds of scientists and engineers around the world give their inventions to humanity for free, even though they could get millions for a patent. But they think that scientists study and discover something new to get a Nobel Prize. Or money is just stupid. Success and money are not the goal, but a bonus. The goal is simply to enjoy what you do, regardless of the awards and prizes for it. But, as you and I understand, only a small percentage of the world's population does what they love. People go to uninteresting jobs for various reasons, whether it's because they have no alternative, or because they made a mistake, or because they need to. But a favorite thing is not necessarily a job. Guys who know they'll never be Ron Coleman still work in the gym and give their money away just because they like to keep each other safe in the squat. As a poet once said, "My way of life is Bukowski, yours is just sucking." If Goldie Roger left behind a message that there is a peace, Bukowski left behind a quote. Don't try, you can feel the similarities between them. Well, except for alcoholism, in both cases it smacks of trolling. But let's be honest, almost all great figures have sinned against this. It's just that with intelligence comes a sense of humor, which is built mainly on irony and sarcasm. And of course, people who understood at least something in this world. Don't miss a moment to poke fun at a stifler. Try reading any work with this thought in mind. If you are particularly attentive, you can catch this barely noticeable moment. But nevertheless, Charles's grandfather's words make sense, and given that the quote is written on his tombstone, the notion that the answer lies on the surface takes on a double meaning. You know, it's strange to read this from a man who struggled for most of his life and became famous only in his 50s. But in one interview, he said that he had been writing all his life and would continue to write even if he wasn't paid for it, and that he would pay himself so that he wouldn't be forbidden to write. How to explain? Writer's wife, don't try. He meant not try but do, because if you spend time trying to do something, you do nothing, which I think is amazing. This phrase is as ingenious as it is simple, and it turns out that Bukowski never tried to be a writer. He was just a writer. He liked it, it was his essence, and, as the writer himself said, he did not choose literature, but literature chose him. What if you literally don't try? You had the feeling that when you try very hard, it moves away from you as much as possible, as if the universe itself begins to take you for a ride. Everything starts to go wrong. The same law of meanness is the law that explains why a sandwich is bound to fall at a red traffic light, which you catch just when you're late for an exam that passes you by like a bus. Even though you only turned away for a second to look at your phone, as soon as you put the situation behind you, everything magically returns to normal. In general, I have already realized that maximum effort very rarely pays off, even if you have achieved a result. The effort expended will not allow you to fully enjoy the moment. But so do the climbers who do it because of the cold. Artists who paint all their lives without selling a single painting. There are millions of such examples. But it's in these things that you need to try, because who knows, maybe you'll be the person who turns your favorite thing into your job. The same Bukowski worked at a job he hated and cursed it every day, but in the end he made it, as he himself says. You wait. If nothing happens, you wait for it like a bug sitting high on the wall. You wait for it to come down to you when it's close, so close that you can reach out, swat it, and kill it, or if you like it a lot, make him your pet. SpongeBob, who is paid a pittance by the greedy Krabby, is happy to go to work and calmly stays overtime. But at the same job, Squidward is fading away and is looking forward to the end of the working day to do his favorite art, on which he spends all his free time. Both Sponge and Squidward have their favorite things to do. Sponge is just lucky that his favorite thing is his job. Besides, Luffy didn't care about the wealth that Roger hid. The process itself is important to him. He would have become a pirate and found another goal if Erithil hadn't been there. So, no matter what, try to have fun, because no matter how cynical it may sound. See you soon.